Where you going? Right. Well, guys, welcome back. Sorry about the delay. This is part 2 of Nikola Tesla.
Took us long enough.
Yeah. Sorry about that. But anyway, let's jump straight in. We've kind of forgotten where we left it. So if we end up repeating what we've already said, then we do apologise, but stuff like this happens. We will be starting from Tesla's Colorado Springs laboratory. So, to further study the conductive nature of low pressure air, Tesla set up an experimental station at high altitude in Colorado Springs during 1899. There he could safely operate much larger coils than in the cramped confines of his New York lab. Right, mate?
Just pops in, hello.
Before I proceed, I want to clarify what I said in part 1 about who invented the light bulb, and I said Thomas Edison. Well, I've done a little digging in my notes, and the guy who actually invented the light bulb was Humphrey Davy.
Okay. Damn. So what did Edison actually invent?
What Thomas Edison actually did is what all inventors did back then. Is they all tried.
What's that on your hat? On the right hand side.
Okay, no. What all inventors did at that time is Humphrey Davy invented the light bulb, but Edison tried to go one further with his invention. This is what all inventors did. But Nikola Tesla took it that one further, to where he not only updated Edison's invention that he claimed, he also upstaged Humphrey Davy. But obviously, as we mentioned, Thomas Edison wasn't very happy about what happened to him, so he went on a vendetta. But it was actually Humphrey Davy that invented the light bulb. So I just wanted to clarify that. But anyway, safely operate much larger coils than in cramped confines of his New York lab. And an associate had made an arrangement for the El Paso Power Company to supply alternating current free of charge. To fund his experiments, he convinced John Jacob Astor IV to invest $100,000 to become a majority shareholder in the Nikola Tesla company. Astor thought he was primarily investing in the new wireless lighting system instead. Tesla used the money to fund his Colorado Springs experiment. Upon his arrival, he told reporters that he planned to conduct wireless telegraphy experiments transmitting signals from Pikes Peak to Paris. And that's a fair distance. Now, I have no idea where that place is, so I can't.
Colorado.
Yeah, what about Peaks Pike?
Yeah, but let's just say Colorado.
Colorado.
I mean, it's
right.
It's like in the central southern states
Yeah.
of the US.
A multiple exposure picture of Tesla sitting next to his magnifying transmitter, generating millions of volts. So there's actually a picture of Nikola Tesla at Wardenclyffe, down in the lowest basement, where he was sitting on like a reclining chair with his
Why is it so?
with his legs crossed over and a notebook and a pen, and he was sitting there, and a huge vacuum, which is obviously trying to make the volts, he was sitting there whilst there's actually electricity volts flying about, and he was just sitting there writing notes as he's going off. So he was a brave man. He was either brave or stupid.
It was probably just in awe of the electricity of what it was in. You know, he probably didn't realise how dangerous it was because he was just too, he was too enthralled by it. He was just too.
Yeah.
He was in the trance, like it was in the zone basically.
Yeah.
It's like when you're passionate about something, you get into that zone. You don't care about the consequences because it's something that you love to do.
Yeah.
And that's what Tesla was. I mean,
every invention he did up until this point was leading up to this moment, because he was on this search to break all boundaries of. He pretty much forgot about the safety for himself and thought, you know what, I'm gonna do this. I don't care how mad it is, because he was so fixated, a bit like in many ways, to Einstein. Einstein was the same in his field. That guy Van Gogh was a bit mad. He tore his own ear off.
Eh?
Van Gogh ripped his own ear off. And he actually painted himself with his ripped ear. With him holding his ripped ear that he ripped off. Now, I don't know what that was to do with his painting.
Right.
He was going through a bit of a rough time.
Well, it sounds like it.
I've been through rough times, but I've never gone to that extreme.
I don't think you're going to tear your fucking ear.
No. But madness makes you do things that you wouldn't normally do. And Tesla, yeah, at this particular time, like we previously mentioned, he was paranoid, obviously, because of Thomas Edison, the other guy who bought the White Star Line, because him and Edison joined forces to run Tesla, so he was a bit mad, paranoid. Which unfortunately,
he thought everybody was out to get him. He thought everyone was trying to get his,
and that's why he had more than one laboratory, because he was paranoid, and he was lowered down because he built six tunnels down to that basement.
So basically, we see him. He's now independent. He's now got his own company after a lot of struggles. After his offices before, his laboratories before getting burnt down, and obviously, before this, he obviously had to work for pittance, really, for like $2 a week or something like that. Well, I can't remember what he said, but it was around $2, $3 a week, which is not a lot, obviously.
No.
To get himself back up there, and then he obviously, rekindled his spirits, got everything back up and running again, got himself back up there, found investors again, and then he got to this point. And this next part's interesting now. But like I said, I mean, he was surrounded by, electric, the bolts, everything, and he was just sitting in the middle of them all, writing notes down, observing everything. And this was all in Colorado Springs. And but the next part is quite interesting. It says during his time at his laboratory, Tesla observed unusual signals from his receiver, which he speculated to be communications from another planet. He mentioned them in a letter to a reporter in December 1899 and to the Red Cross Society in December 1990. Reporters treated it as a sensational story and jumped to the conclusion Tesla was hearing signals from Mars. He expanded on the signals he heard in a 9th February 1901 Collier's Weekly article, talking with planets. So, let's talk about that first at the moment. He said it was. I do believe that. To be honest with you, first when I read this, I thought, he's going a bit crazy. He's going a bit insane. His obsessive behaviour, his paranoia has gotten the better of him. Now everything's just. Now it's just. Basically, it's just one big blockage in his brain now. This is what I think, and now it's affecting everything. And all of this is just due to his, mental behaviour, that he is now screwed up in the head. That's what I thought. I thought that, but now I think, the planet was a lot larger back then, because now the world is big, means small. It's a lot smaller than it used to be because of the internet, because of everything. But back then you didn't have any of that, obviously, being in the 19th century. So he's not going to know what any other countries are doing, because there is no other communication to other countries or whatever.
If there was, it would have taken 3 months to hear anything.
Exactly. So if he was to hear that signal, then he's not going to know it's somebody else. So that's what I thought at first, but now I'm thinking, I don't really blame the guy for thinking like this.
No, I mean, if you put it into perspective, right, NASA and other governments like that, they have explored space more than they have explored the ocean. We've only explored 5% of the ocean.
5%?
5% of the ocean. They explore more in space.
5%, really?
Yeah. We've only explored 5% of the ocean. So we don't know what else is down there, but they poured more money into exploring space to see what's out there. The mind boggles.
The world is 75% water anyway.
Yeah.
It looks like on the map the lands cover a lot more, but it doesn't. It's like England, we live in the UK and we are only a tiny
we're a tiny island.
dot.
Yeah.
And then you see countries like Russia, and if you put them alone, without any other land, if you put them alone, they'll only cover a small amount of the world as well. So the world is vast, it's huge, it's gigantic. But then when you realise how small this world actually is compared to other planets, especially Saturn, especially Jupiter, who is supposedly has no land whatsoever, it's just atmosphere, no land underneath. To say we've explored space more than our own planet is incredible. So
just think of it. 5%
it
of our ocean, that's how we've explored. So we don't know What else is below?
Where did you read that, may I ask?
Why I'm saying it, I can't remember. If I find it, I'll try and link it. But that's a fact.
Is it old? Is it an old article? Because we might have explored a bit more since then.
No, honestly. We've only explored 5% of the ocean.
That's interesting.
Yeah, we've explored more in space because obviously we found out more stuff about space
Well,
since Tesla's time.
If it truly is the case that we've only explored 5%, then it just shows you how arrogant and how truly arrogant we really are. We think we know a lot about our planet when we really don't. So, I mean, we need to know a lot more about our world than go jumping off into any other.
Because there could be, not to go off topic, but there could be other species of fish down below.
There is a lot.
There could be other plankton, other protein.
There's a lot of things that we don't know.
I mean, the Titanic ship could still be down there.
Probably is.
You don't know, in the depths.
It will be. Because
but we can't go further down because obviously, we don't have the equipment to go down that deep. Plus we can't go down that deep ourselves because of the oxygen. Because the oxygen cuts off.
I think
at a certain level.
I don't know, but
but we need to explore more.
I mean, saying about Tesla, I mean, I don't blame the guy for actually thinking that it was intercepting a signal from another planet. But as we read further, we'll find out that probably wasn't the case.
Yeah.
So he said, talking with planets where he said it had not been immediately apparent to him that he was hearing intelligent controlled signals and that the signals could come from Mars. So Venus or other planets. So he's saying he's not really sure. It has been hypothesized that he may have intercepted
Guglielmo Marconi's European experiments.
Yeah, in July 1899. Marconi may have transmitted the letter S ... in a naval demonstration, the same three impulses that Tesla hinted at hearing in Colorado, or signals from another experiment in wireless transmission. So now they're saying it probably wasn't another planet, but how is he supposed to know that?
Yeah.
He intercepted another experiment that was happening at that time as well. So, Tesla, doesn't matter how clever you are, you're still gonna have curiosities. You're still gonna be fooled by something else.
Yeah.
And Tesla was fooled by something else. I mean, obviously, like I said, how is he supposed to know this? Doesn't matter how smart you are. So, yeah. I mean, he was obviously a genius.
Yeah, but
I mean, come on.
But sitting under that much voltage over a period of time, like he did, because, like I said previously, he did not have dinner from 3 a.m. to 11 p.m. at night, and all he would do was from then to 11 p.m. he would work, and the majority of that time he would sit in the middle with volts going all over the place. And we know now that electricity going through your body is not good. And that amount, that's not good.
Probably one of the reasons why he was so paranoid. Probably one of the reasons why he did have that, he did have a mental illness because of what he did, because of, I mean, if you look at other professions, every profession, every professor has some sort of thing. We will be sport, we will be medicine. People are prone to depression with each profession because of the pressure that they are under. I mean, if you look at sport, right? Sport. I mean, there's a lot of athletes that are prone to depression, that have depression because of the pressure that surrounds them. I mean, I work at a hospital. Thankfully, not as a doctor or a nurse, but I work at the hospital, and how tired they all look.
Yeah.
How exhausted a lot of them look. You know, I can remember one nurse. She was not feeling up to it at all. She got to the bay and she was about to see to one of her patients. Before she walked through the door the door to the bay, she took a deep breath and she smiled.
Mm.
It's like she's acting, you see, and because she doesn't want her patient to know that she's not down, that she's feeling down, because they're in the state that they're in. So why do they want to see their nurse like this? Same thing with Tesla. You know, the pressure of the pressure of being a worldly known inventor, the pressure of coming up with something fresh, the pressure of rivals like Edison being up his arse all the time, trying to ruin him all the time. With how many setbacks he had, a lot of the times he had to get back on his feet. And he puts pressure on himself as well. That's the biggest pressure of all. But you put pressure on yourself, you're not going to get away with it. You're not going to get away from that pressure.
No.
So this can cause havoc in the mind. And Tesla probably, and he didn't really sleep much either, which is not going to help. So all of that in one ball, it's going to cause a lot of shit in your head, isn't it?
Exactly. Plus, I know back then he didn't eat as much, obviously, because that's why the majority of them were so slim. But Tesla wouldn't have his first meal until 8 p.m. 8 p.m. And then from then, he'd carry on working till 11 p.m. And that's when, I presume, he would go to bed. And that was his day done. Then he will wake up again at 3 a.m, start work. No nourishment, no obviously refreshments.
No food.
Wake up, bang, straight to work. All the way till 8 p.m, dinner, back to work again till 11 p.m, then bed.
Crazy.
Because it consumed his life.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with something consuming your life.
No,
because
but
why else are we put on this planet for?
Exactly.
You're on this planet to
achieve
live,
something.
to achieve, to be remembered.
Yeah.
Right? Whether you're a parent, you're going to be remembered by your children. Whether you're a famous actor, you're going to be remembered by your fans. It doesn't matter who you're going to be remembered by. You're still put on this world to be remembered by something, leave a legacy behind. Again, whether you're a parent, your legacy is your children. You're an actress, you're going to be remembered by your films. You know, he wanted to be remembered by his inventions, and his inventions are still going on today.
Yeah.
But to be consumed, this was extreme though. I mean, I love writing, as you know. I do it practically every day, and it takes up a lot of my days. But I'll never dream of. I'll never. First thing I wake up, right, I do what I need to do, and then I have my breakfast, and then I write. He didn't have any food at all, because food just feeds the brain. It feeds the brain. It makes it function, right? It's fuel, right?
Yeah.
If you're not gonna, he might have had some coffee. He might have had coffee. You know, I'm just pulling it out there. He might have had coffee. He might have had or tea. Tea's full of caffeine, right? So he might not have had nothing. But food helps.
Yeah, well, you got to think that back then, food wasn't easily accessible. Plus, back then, the food was on rations. So
Yeah,
coffee back then.
yeah, I know.
Like it
But
would have been.
he would have afforded
But
coffee. It's
with the
Tesla.
research I did, nothing came up about him. But we're just speculating.
I mean, he was given £100,000 by an
Yeah,
investor.
but you wouldn't. Yeah, but
to
that
have a
was
stake in his company.
yeah, but he would have put that money towards his inventions.
So you're saying that he probably wouldn't have eaten that either?
He would, but I'm just saying that. Well, from what I've researched and found, obviously, you're welcome to research yourself, obviously. But from what I found, he would only eat at 8 p.m. and I couldn't find anything. I mean, maybe he did, but obviously back then, rations, they didn't have a lot. And obviously all that money he would have put towards his inventions that he was working on, because he had over 700 patents. But it could be even more now, because they're only just starting to realise how much he actually invented. But we only know of the ones that actually came to fruition. So,
Right, so the next part. Tesla had agreement with the editor of the Centauri magazine to produce an article on his findings. The magazine sent a photographer to Colorado to photograph the work being done there. The article, titled "The Problem of Increasing Human Energy," increased in the 1990 June edition of the magazine. He explains superiority of the wireless system he envisioned, but the article was more of the lengthy philosophical treatise than an understandable scientific description of his work, illustrated with what were to become iconic images of Tesla and his Colorado. Yeah, that's what you was talking about earlier, how he was surrounded by all that electricity. So that we've already spoke about that part. So this is Warden. The next part is great. We've got a big fly in the room now. So this part's Warden Cliff.
yeah.
The Warden Cliff Tower, which is obviously Colorado Springs. Tesla's Warden Cliff plant on Long Island. Oh, Long Island. Sorry, my bad. In 1904, from this facility, Tesla hoped to demonstrate wireless transmission of electrical energy across the Atlantic. Tesla made the rounds in New York trying to find investors for what he thought would be a viable system of wireless transmission, winning and dining them at the Waldorf Astoria's Palm Gardens, which is the hotel where he was living at the time.
Yeah.
The Players Club and Delmonico's in March 1901. He obtained $150,000, which nowadays is $4,412,400, which is a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
In today's dollars, which is what I just said. Yeah.
Have you noticed? Like, I know it's been a while since we did it, but J.P. Morgan. Do you recognise that name?
Where's that?
Right, you read? He obtained $150 from JP.
Oh yeah.
JP Morgan, if you don't know, he's the one who bought the White Star Line, Titanic. He also was the guy who started a bank called Chase. And he's also the guy who teamed up with Thomas Edison to ruin Tesla. Because apparently, according to JP Morgan, Tesla also pissed him off, apparently, according to him. So both he and Thomas Edison, if you remember, in the first part we spoke about, he was one of the three guys who bought a sharehold in the contract. Because him and the other guy were having financial difficulty.
Okay.
And he was one of the three companies.
Well, so JP Morgan, in return for a 51% share of any generated wireless, paid patents and began planning the Wardenclyffe Tower facility to be built in Shoreham, New York, 100 miles east of the city on the north shore of Long Island. Right, so okay. So JP Morgan, not really the best person to be teaming up with.
No.
That was wow.
JP Morgan was in his own right a nasty piece of shit. He didn't care about no one. All he cared about was money. And at this point in time, JP Morgan was a millionaire. So he bought the White Star Line. Then obviously the Titanic set off in 1912. Yeah. Then the Titanic had an accident where it hit an iceberg and sank, which was the captain's fault because he was asleep.
Oh.
Literally, he was asleep. He wasn't even steering it. So
You are.
but
Where the fuck did you read that?
no, this is true.
Okay.
So it took 2 hours for the Titanic to sink. And whilst it's sinking, another ship, which was the sister ship to the Titanic, appeared with no life jackets. It wasn't even big enough to collect survivors. So the Titanic sunk, and JP Morgan tried to basically do a fake claim to try and get the money back. And JP Morgan did that a lot. He did fake claims to get money for doing nothing. So Thomas Edison, there's also another guy, I can't remember his full name, but he's called Hershey. If you've ever heard of Hershey's chocolate. He came off, and that's why he led Hershey's chocolate. If he'd stayed on the boat and got killed, then the chocolate. But anyway, Thomas Edison and JP Morgan met up, and because they both despised Tesla, they obviously, joined forces and said, right, listen, we're going to fuck him up. We're going to stop every invention. We're going to put a claim to it. And that's what they did. And at this point, obviously, Tesla's thinking, I've got money now, I'm doing my inventions, I'm doing pretty well. I don't have any problem anymore. Obviously, that wasn't the case, but, I thought I was well out of there because, JP Morgan was a bit of a character. Edison and Morgan were the same. Probably like father, like son type of relationship that they had.
Yeah, you read next.
Where did you get to?
Top bit. Start babbling, fool.
What? July 1901?
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
What are you shouting for, man?
I was in a groove then.
Chill out, man. Oh, for fuck's sake.
I was babbling and then I was like, what? Mama. Sorry guys, but that's what happens to me. Right, let's go again. Right,
Got it back up.
July 1901. Tesla had expanded his plans to build a more powerful transmitter to leap ahead of Marconi's radio-based system, which Tesla thought it was a copy of his own system. He approached Morgan to ask for more money to build a larger system, but Morgan refused to supply any further funds. In December 1901, Marconi successfully transmitted the letter S from England to Newfoundland, defeating Tesla in the race to be the first to complete such a transmission. A month after Marconi's success, Tesla tried to get Morgan to back and even lodge a plan to transmit messages and power by controlling vibrations throughout the globe. Over the next 5 years, Tesla wrote more than 50 letters to Morgan pleading for and demanding additional funding to complete the construction of Wardenclyffe. Tesla continued the project for another 9 months into 1902. The tower was erected to its full 187 feet, which is 57 metres, in June 1902. Tesla moved his lab operations from Houston Street to Wardenclyffe. So Morgan, not JP Morgan, Morgan was like, no, you're not having any more money. Tesla needed more money because he needed a laboratory. So obviously, stuck in a situation, he continued his project. Investors on Wall Street were putting their money into Marconi's system, and some in the press began turning against Tesla project, claiming it was a hoax. The project came to a halt in 1905, and in 1906, the financial problems and other events may have led to what Tesla biographer Mark J. Cypher suspects was a nervous breakdown on Tesla's part. So Tesla thought he was right. He asked for more money from Morgan. He said basically fuck off. So he continued on his project for another 9 months. And now he's had a nervous breakdown. So it's not looking good. And this isn't his first breakdown. Now, I don't know how old he is at this point. I'm assuming that he's nearing the 30 mark or more. I can't remember.
Let's have a look when he was born. Mm. 1856. So now the date is 1904. Today 1886. Wait, no. What did I say? 1856, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's 48. was 48 when this happened. So,
right. So, investors on Wall Street were putting their money into Moko's system. So,
you've already read that part.
yeah. So the project came to a halt in 1905, and in 1906, the financial problems and other events may have led to what Tesla's biographer Mark J. Cypher suspects was another breakdown on Tesla's part. Tesla mortgaged the Wardenclyffe property to cover his debts at the Waldorf Astoria, which eventually amounted to $20,000, which is less than 500 grand in today's money. He lost the property in foreclosure in 1915. So, 3 years after the Titanic. And in 1917, the tower was demolished by the new owner to make the land a more viable real estate asset. So, basically all of this crumbled down, and Tesla was like, what am I going to do now? Later years, after Wardenclyffe closed, Tesla continued to write to Morgan after the great man died. Tesla wrote to his son, Jack Morgan, trying to get further funding for the project in 1906. Tesla opened offices at 165 Broadway in Manhattan, trying to raise further funds by developing and marketing his patents. He went on to have offices at the Metropolitan Life Tower from 1910 to 1914, rented for a few months at the Woolworth building, moving out because he could not afford the rent, and then to office space at 8 West 40th Street from 1915 to 1925. After moving to 8th West 40th Street, he was effectively bankrupt, so not looking good. Most of his patents had run out, and he was having trouble with the new inventions he was trying to develop. So, yeah, he's thinking, oh shit. He had a pretty substantial laboratory at Wardenclyffe, everything he needed. Like, he had as much electricity as he needed. In fact, he had the whole city's electricity at his fingertips for free. So he thought, right, let's crack on. And then obviously foreclosure. So at this point, he's not doing well. He's had a nervous breakdown, which I'm assuming is not over, but he's still working. So, bladeless turbine. Tesla's bladeless turbine design on his 50th birthday in 1906, Tesla demonstrated a 200 horsepower, 150 kilowatt, 16,000 rates per minute bladeless turbine during 1910-1911 at the Waterside Power Station in New York.
So he's now on his 50th birthday.
Yeah. Several of his bladeless turbine engines were tested, this is in New York by the way, at 100 to 5,000 horsepower. Tesla worked with several companies including the period 1919-1922, working in Milwaukee for Alice Chalmers. He spent most of his time trying to perfect the Tesla turbine with Hans Dahlstrand, the head engineer at the company. But engineering difficulties meant it was never made into a practical device. Tesla did license the idea to a precision instrument company, and it found use in the form of a luxury car, speedometers and other instruments. Wireless lawsuits. When World War I broke out, the British cut the transatlantic telegraph cable linking the US to Germany in order to control the flow of information between the two countries. They also tried to shut off German wireless communication to and from the US by having the US Marconi company sue the German radio company Telefunken for patent infringement. Okay. Telefunken brought in the physicists Jonathan Zenneck and Carl Ferdinand Brunn for their defense and had Tesla as a witness for 2 years for $1,000 a month. The case stalled and then went moot, weird word, but okay, when the US entered the war against Germany in 1917. So Marconi tried to, sue. He didn't win that battle, he lost. But, because he didn't own the invention, Tesla did. So, in 1915, Tesla attempted to sue the Marconi company for infringement of his wireless tuning patents. Marconi's initial radio patent had been awarded in the US in 1897, but his 1900 patent submission covering improvements to radio transmission had been rejected several times before it was finally approved in 1904 on the grounds that it infringed on other existing patents, including two 1897 Tesla wireless power tuning patents. Tesla's 1915 case went nowhere, but in a related case where the Marconi company tried to sue the US government over World War I patent infringements, a Supreme Court of the United States decision restored the prior patents of Oliver Lodge, John Stone and Tesla. Oh, balls. The court declared that their decision had no bearing on Marconi's claim as the first to achieve radio transmission, just that since Marconi's claim to certain patented improvements were questionable, the company could not claim infringement on those same patents. So, Marconi, the greedy fuck, tried to claim on a patent that wasn't his. Sorry for that slight hiccup.
Oh, boy.
Right. In the year 1923...
I love the time when you fell down the hill. Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
Edwin Randolph Scott, an inventor from San Francisco...
Where are we?
History.
Oh,
claimed he was the first to develop a death ray that would destroy human life and bring down planes at a distance. So, think of Star Wars, the beam, lightsaber. That's where that invention came from, the beam. Because he had a bit of a Star Wars connection. He was born in Detroit, and he claimed he worked for 9 years as a student and protege of Charles P. Steinmetz. Harry Grindle Matthews tried to sell what he reported to be a death ray to the British Air Ministry in 1924. He was never able to show a functioning model or demonstrate to the military.
Oh yeah, but he never showed it. Alright, bullshit.
Nikola Tesla claimed to have invented a death beam, which he called Teleforce in the 1930s, and continued the claim up until his death. Tesla explained that this invention of mine does not contemplate the use of any so-called death ray. Rays are not applicable because they cannot be produced in requisite quantities and diminish rapidly in intensity with distance. All the energy of New York City, approximately 2 billion horsepower, transformed into rays and projected 20 miles, could not kill a human being because, according to a well-known law of physics, it would disperse to such an extent as to be ineffectual. My apparatus projects particles which may be relatively large or of microscopic dimensions, enabling us to convey to a small area at a great distance trillions of times more energy than is possible with rays of any kind. Many thousands of horsepower can thus be transmitted by a stream thinner than the hair so that nothing can resist. Tesla proposed that a nation could destroy anything approaching within 200 miles. Will provide a wall of power in order to make any country, large or small, impregnable against armies, airplanes and other means for attack. He claimed that he worked on the project since about 1900. So, and he did actually invent such a thing called a death ray. And there was a show, I can't remember the channel, but there was an ex-military dude and two scientists trying to recreate Tesla's death ray beam. And they used the exact methods and they were able to do it. So this death ray was real. So, but obviously Tesla was saying, no, that's not what it's going to be used for.
And we're going to use it to kill them.
No. I mean, it could.
Yeah,
but then that would be...
Perhaps he had flipped up.
Yeah. Antonio Longoria in 1934 claimed to have a death ray that could kill pigeons from 4 miles away and could kill a mouse enclosed in a thick walled metal chamber. Yeah, good luck with that. Like, during World War II, the Germans had at least 2 projects, and the Japanese one to create so-called death rays. One German project led by a man called Siebold concerned a particle accelerator with a steerable bundle of beryllium rods running through the vertical axis. The other was developed by Dr. Wolf Riedero and is referred to in his biography. The machine developed by Riedero was in the Dresden Plasma Physics Laboratory in February 1945, when the city was bombed. Well, that's not good. Riedero led a team in March 1945 to remove the device from the ruined laboratory and deliver it to General Patton's Third Army at Berggrub. Okay. Where it was taken into US custody on 14th of April 1945. The Japanese weapon was called Death Ray Kugo, which aimed to employ microwaves created in a large magnetron.
I think that's so funny, Berggrub.
Berggrub, yeah.
Berggrub. Wait, okay, I'm going to stop being a twat now.
Although the concept of a death ray was never put into action, it fueled science fiction stories and led to the science fiction concept of the handheld ray gun used by fictional characters such as Flash Gordon in Alfred Noyes' 1940 novel The Last Man, US title No Other Man. A death ray developed by a German scientist named Marduk is unleashed in a global war and almost wipes out the human race. Similar weapons are found in the George Lucas science fiction saga Star Wars.
So, we've read it all.
Yeah.
So, this was about a man named Tesla.
Yeah.
This was about a man that left a huge legacy behind from his creations. Many of his creations is what we see to this day, the engine. Without Tesla, there will be, well...
Without Tesla, there will be no wireless, there will be no Wi-Fi, because he invented it.
Yeah.
Car, electricity, right?
So, I mean, what this man went through, he didn't have many friends. He didn't have any friends, really, did he? He left his family back home.
Yeah.
And he moved to the US. And he moved there he didn't move there to make friends. He moved there to earn a living. He moved there to create a legacy. He moved there to chase his dream.
Yeah. I mean, this was...
And he did, and he was... But the thing is, with this, right, he was a one-man band. He couldn't work with people. He was a terrible team. He was a terrible team player. We saw that when he had a bit of a disagreement with somebody that he was meant to be teaming up with to invent something.
Yeah.
And they had a disagreement, and Tesla didn't want to work with him anymore, and he did it on his own. He just couldn't work with people. He was always on his own. He was always in the laboratories on his own. He had laboratories all over the US, but not once really did he have a team working with him.
No.
And like I just said, when he did have somebody work with him, it didn't work out, and he went on his own. The only people that he had working with him, really, were people that he needed for money, investors. But the problem with that is, if you're going to take on the world alone, you're going to end up alone. And if you're going to end up alone, you might lose alone. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And he had the most powerful people, he had the most powerful men at that time, richest men at that time, and Edison and Morgan, and many other people that didn't like him at the time. They was all after him. And that led to paranoia. And he died alone. He also died alone, which is, it's upsetting really, because here's a man who loved everything that he did. He invented everything that we still use today. And he died on his own. So that's Tesla.
I mean, another thing that he invented. What do people use on a daily basis?
Our brains.
When they're in the car.
Actually, we can't say that about everybody. Radio.
No, what do people... Well...
okay.
When you're walking around and don't know where you're going, what do you use?
Satellite.
GPS.
Yeah, satellite GPS.
Yeah. Tesla. Well, there's so many things that we use on a daily basis that Tesla invented. And there's a guy called Elon Musk. He's a very intelligent man. Not on the same level as Stephen Hawking, but he's up there. And he's carrying on what Tesla left to this day. He's continuing his legacy. He named his car company Tesla. And he's carrying on Tesla's inventions to this day. He's even built a rocket that went into space. And he's now reusing that to go back again. He's also building travel pods that you sit in and that flies. So he's doing his best to continue where Tesla left off. Because he realises that without Tesla, we wouldn't have what we have. it's sad that Tesla died alone in a room at the age of 76, I believe. Nothing to his name. Absolutely nothing. No patents. Nothing. No family because he was too busy. He had no time for a wife, no time for kids. Consumed by work, which nothing wrong with that, but you need to have boundaries. But he didn't have any because he didn't have anyone. You know, he couldn't communicate with his family because they were 1,000 miles away. Both of his parents were church people. Here's a man, or a young boy, all he ever did was read books. He read book after book on his favourite inventors. He consumed every bit of knowledge he could, and he put that into use. And that's what got him to Paris, and then eventually into the Edison company. But then he sold up Edison, and Edison didn't like it. And then obviously, right, you little bastard, how dare you sell me up? Even though at this point, Thomas Edison was in his 60s, and Tesla was 23.
That was the turning point.
Yeah. But as I mentioned before, a year prior to that, Edison did the same thing to another guy, where he used him to get what he wanted. And then he did the same thing to to Tesla. Right, I've got a spare room. You can stay here. If you fix my problem, I'll give you $1,000. Tesla fixed it just like that. Edison didn't give any money. Said fuck off. Get out of my shop.
What do you do, right? What do you do?
Well, fuck you.
What did you do, yeah, right? If you was writing a story, yeah, and you didn't know how to carry it on, and you didn't know the perfect ending or anything, right? And then this young writer came along and went, there you go, easy. And you're like,
if someone did that to me, I'll slap him. I said, I'll do more than slap him. I'll spear him out the window.
I'm like,
get the fuck out.
It's easy, man. How the hell did you struggle with that? Right, enough of the man, alright? I'm a fucking best-selling author. How the hell did you do that? No, it's just you being a drama queen. Wait right there, I'll be back in a second. Where you going? Just see this? Yeah, it's a bat. Get him out. Fucking little cocky bastard. Well, obviously we don't know how Tesla did that with Edison, but he did sort the problem out. And Edison obviously was pissed off about it because Edison was in his 60s. He was a legend in the industry at that moment. And here comes a young guy named Nikola Tesla, 23 years old. Yeah, because just up and coming guy, young guy, baby compared to him. And then he just sorts out the problem he's been having for 6 to 7 months. And then he did it in like a day. And he's just, what the fuck? How do you do that? Oh, well, it's simple. It's not fucking simple. I struggled. And here you come along, you bastard. Yeah, where's my $1,000? You get fucked. Get out. Well, you promised me. No, sorry, mate. Leave. I'm not having
this. It's like, Edison was butthurt. Like, he's emasculated. He's emasculated. Like he doesn't know what the fuck to do because he's like, right. Here's this young guy coming in, 23, fresh off the boat. Right, he comes in the workshop, right, and he does that, and he's like, right, do that, right, where's my money? Edison is like, can you fuck off?
Demasculated.
Yeah, fuck off.
What have you done to me?
Like,
there's nobody else here. Only you know that I did
and
it. That's not the point.
And then Edison goes back into the little living room, sits on his rocking chair with a fire blaring.
He's like, you little fuck.
Right, he's like, wine, like, eating himself.
I'd be depressed as shit, man.
Like, eating. Like, and he's like that, like, and he's like that up until
he's dead.
He's dead.
He's hated him ever
Like,
since. He's hated him ever since because of that one moment.
Like, I'm sorry that your butt hurt me, but come on.
I would I'm sorry.
I mean, I would be hurt, but I wouldn't be that hurt.
You sure about that?
It'll be, well,
I think you fucking would.
Secretly, I'll be fine, but
no, you fucking wouldn't. You'll be pissed.
But
for years because of this fucking guy.
No, I wouldn't hold a grudge like he did for years. I'm not that type of person.
Is that what I said to you? You know, you're playing on FIFA and then this stupid 10-year-old comes along and goes, give me a game, and batters you 10-0.
Yeah, like, I'm pissed off in that moment, but I don't hold it as a grudge. I'm not that type of person.
I'll grab the pad and whack it around his fucking head. Oh, you little fuck. I've been playing this game for over 20 flipping years, and you come along, you little shit. Sorry, a lot longer than that. I've been playing FIFA for like, I don't know, since I was 10, 25. Wait, is it 25 years? Not 25 years. I'm talking about that. 5 years old. 20 years. Wait. No, not 20 years. 21, 11, 21 years.
I mean,
I feel old, man. 21 years. That's when FIFA 98 came out. 1997.
I started playing FIFA 97.
Long time, man. Shit. Yeah, sorry, we're going off topic.
Yeah. But how demasculated can you be? I mean, how can you hold a grudge that long?
The man was in his 60s. He was a small, respected bloke, and then this dude comes along who's
he didn't even acknowledge Tesla in the newspaper.
Yeah,
then I invented it.
Yeah, because he was pissed off.
And then obviously that grew.
He was obviously an arsehole who hated Tesla because Tesla showed him up.
I think he died of a heart attack. I think. In his bed.
She was still angry, still frustrated and stressed.
I mean, no one ran him.
Tesla was in his head all along.
Probably with the image of Tesla fixing his problem.
Or fucking him up his arse. Butthurt.
Yeah. Well, it must have been. To hold a grudge. Oh, like, for fuck's sake.
Tesla doing it from behind because of that time he solved the problem that he could never solve. Tesla, why are you doing this to me? I'm holding you ever since that day.
And he did.
Yeah. And then that's what made him want to ruin Tesla.
Yeah.
Well.
700 patents. Well, 700 inventions. He did. And the death rate was real because they did a TV show about that. Death rate. Where they did the same experiment.
You've already mentioned this. You just repeat yourself.
Well,
But we've done.
we don't.
So what's next? We've still got to do Lost in Space episode 3, which we will do.
Yeah, we'll do. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you guys think of any conspiracies that may interest us, let us know.
Or lock them up anyway.
Yeah.
You're the guy that looks things up.
We could do Titanic. I mean, there's a load.
I did Titanic.
There's also it's not really a conspiracy, but there's a blue blood conspiracy.
Blue blood. What's that?
You know how we have red blood.
Mm.
Well, this may shock you, but King Henry, Barack Obama, President Trump had blue blood. I'm not joking. They have blue blood.
Fuck.
I don't know if it's a conspiracy or not.
The fuck, man.
But they have blue blood.
Seriously?
Seriously, there are people out there that have blue blood. But we will do Lost in Space episode 3 next, and then after that we will do Titanic. We're gonna keep mixing up the content, obviously. But I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Sorry it was a bit later than usual, but at least we got it up. We did it. So, thanks for listening. Hope you have a good day. We will see you next time.
See you guys. Bye bye. Thanks for listening. Blue blood clots more fast. The blue blood clots more faster, and even serious injuries do not cause. Is blood blue inside of your body? So propaganda. In the world, there are about 7,000 people whose blood is blue. An English girl, Polly Nettie, 12 years old, is an ordinary girl, said that her blood is blue. At the birth, the hospital blood centre had assured parents that the child would develop normally. When asked why the blood is blue, the answer was unexpected. The reason for this condition was the contraceptive pill, who took the girl's mother for several years before the pregnancy. Polly's doctor, a professor at the Centre for Haematology, London, Frazy Robert, explained. In the world, there are about 7,000 people whose blood has a blue hue. Cyanotic people called the iron in their blood is replaced by copper, but without changing the function. The blue-purple colour comes from copper and iron mixture. Scientists explain the appearance of cyanotic people by the laws of evolution. In the case of natural disasters or environmental change, or epidemics, when the normal dying, they transform, stay alive, and create new populations. Everyone's blood is blue when in the absence of oxygen. Only when it is exposed to oxygen does it turn red, which is why our veins are blue in colour. So the joke's on you. Oh. You might be right. Blood does change colour. Because colour of veins are blue.
Yeah, but Donald Trump, Obama, and Barack Obama, they really do have blue blood.
Yes, but they're just saying that everyone's blood could be blue because of the fact that veins are blue.
I mean, there is a conspiracy, and it's pretty out there, saying that alien. That's where the conspiracy comes from.
But we all have blue blood.
What? I don't.
No, only when it's thingy to oxygen, when it's exposed to oxygen, when it changes colour. Because veins are blue.
Yeah, I know veins are blue, but how do you explain that? But when I bleed red.
Yes, because it's exposed to oxygen.
Yeah.
When something is exposed to oxygen, like fish, for instance, when they're exposed to oxygen, they dry up and die. Blood dies when it's exposed to oxygen. That's when it turns red. But when it isn't exposed to oxygen, when it's in our bodies, without any exposure, it's blue. Why else will veins be blue? Because the blood is blue. So everybody's blood is blue. Everybody's. Because our veins are. And that's where the blood is. So, you know, fuck off. God's sake. We'll probably do Titanic next time then. Oh, for fuck's sake. Shoes that are ice cream cones. Look. With cherries on top. Really?
What's the fucking point?
What a shit fucking music.
Kanye West has confirmed bipolar disorder.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the same guy that said black people's slavery in the day was a choice. What a complete muppet. He's thick.
I think guess what? Show's cancelled.
Show?
Yeah. Roseanne. Roseanne.
Yeah, I know, because she's a twat. See the tweet she did?
She tweeted out, monkey.
Yeah, she compared a black man to an ape.
Well, she's done it before.
Yeah, and where did it get her? She's a fucking...
Yeah, but the thing is, everyone around her and the company knew what she was like.
But still...
But the thing is, they may have... They're thinking of doing a spin-off. Without Roseanne. But you know what? It's going to back, But she co-wrote Roseanne. So she's going to make money from it anyway.
She's an idiot.
So...
She's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, but I find it a bit hypocritical. Yeah, I'm glad, good on them for sacking her. But they have a president that says what he wants. There are no repercussions. So he's a bit hypocritical.
I'm not bothered about Trump though. I'm bothered about her.
I'm
being a
not, for
fucking
fuck's sake.
muppet.
Even her ex-husband, Arnold guy, what his name is.
The reviews are in for Ocean's 8.
Oh, for
You
fuck's sake.
put Rihanna in there. God, you idiot. Why would you have Rihanna? Fucking hate that woman. Let's have a look. I bet there's shit. I'm hoping there's shit. Ocean's